forgetting to come live on this channel, so I figured today we would start out here. I hope everybody's doing well. I gotta go change some things so we don't have a bunch. Ah, shit. That's what I did not want to do. I just signed out. Oh well, welcome to my life. It's great. It is great. Here we go. I'm gonna try it again. Switch accounts. Oh, it's letting me. Huh? How do I do? Nope, it's making me sign in. We'll see. Hold on here. Let's see what we got going on here. I hope everybody's doing well this Monday morning, and it did sign me out. Dad, burn it, Dad, burn it, Dad, burn it. I freaking hate YouTube some days. It's nice to see everybody this Manic Monday, Manic Monday, Manic Monday. Hey guys, I see you guys coming in. Let me get signed back in accidentally. I do that sometimes and it drives me absolutely nutso when I do that. See if I can sign in now. Switch accounts. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, well, we're switching on here, but that's not helping me where I need to help. Oh, that brings me to a whole new conversation with what I just popped up. I don't even want to discuss that. That's just asinine. So, it is what it is. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this. I ended up signing myself out. And I didn't mean to sign myself out. And now it's been hell trying to get back in because I'm trying to get the trolls out of here. Hey, guys. Dawn, Mickey, Shell, Amanda, it's nice to see you. Melanie, True Crime Addict, good morning. We're just, yes, verify it's me. Good gracious. Says, I haven't been on here in a while. We need to make sure you're who you are. We'll get started here in a second. Good gracious. I wasn't expecting all of this, but that's what happens when you have fat fingers. You hit sign out instead of thank God it wasn't on here and I didn't kill the live, right? I hope everybody's doing well this Manic Monday. I decided to come here while Delilah is out there playing, but she's going to probably be here in a hot minute to cry to get on the bed. I guarantee it. She always does. So good morning. You guys got Bedhead Betty this beautiful morning. I hope everybody's doing well. It's nice to see you. We don't really have a whole lot to talk about other than sad stuff, as always. You know, we're dealing with 3 missing children right now. 2 have been recovered. We've got Waylon Childs from Ormond Beach, Florida, an autistic boy that disappeared yesterday, was found last night, recovered. Very sad story there, very heartbreaking. Kids, you know, he was out with his other 2 siblings and his dad at a park and managed to get away. All the children were under the age of 5, and next thing you know, they had they reported him missing immediately, and everybody was out there looking for this child, and a dive team went in and they found him and was able to bring him home. So it's very sad to report that Waylon Childs, you know, he's not making it to Christmas, and it's heartbreaking. And then we had Joshua McCoy, which was found. He allegedly, another autistic boy, allegedly laid down with his mom. And when she woke up 4 hours later, he was gone. It took him another hour and a half. Those are the reasons why that case is really bothering me and not sitting right with me, is because of the timing. Taking a nap. Usually when I take a nap, it's an hour. 2-hour nap does happen, but few and far between, you know. And then you have the hour and a half it took him after she realized he was gone. He was just a young boy. It doesn't take you an hour and a half to call law enforcement, and she's not even the one that called. It was a third party. Again, lots of similarities to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers in part, you know. And the timing of the conversation, you know, it took them an hour and a half. It took the mom and stepfather, even though they told the public they called right away, You know, it took them 33 minutes to, or 30 minutes to make that call. I don't like that. When you have a child missing, most parents immediately call law enforcement, and they're frantic, they're hysterical. You know, they have to be told to calm down. You know, they can't understand them. I mean, we've listened to a lot of 911 calls on this show over the last 4 years, and we can hear the panic and angst and urgency in their voice. And when we don't hear that when they're called in, it really doesn't sit right with us. We had the same experience with Jennifer Soto and her family when they were calling in for Madeline. And Maddie Soto obviously was already gone. They found her a couple of days later from that. But if you listen to it, it sounded like everybody was ultra calm. I mean, it was so calm that people were raising red flags about how calm. I mean, they called it. That was in Osceola / Orange County, and they called like around 4:30, and then nobody showed up, and so they called again. Still very much calm. I was just thinking, like, you know, had it been my mother or somebody like that, somebody would have been getting their butt chewed out. Like, what? This is a child. This is not a, you know, a pullover, a speeding ticket. This is a freaking child that's been missing and hasn't been to school all day. You know, you're emphasizing stuff. We never heard any of that with that. So that's what's making me keep Joshua McCoy kind of top of mind. I searched to see if there's any news on that. And then, of course, we have London Kerr. And this one is a really frustrating case. The mom's already in jail and has already bonded out. But this child hasn't been seen for 2 years. Like, we have 2 baby photos that prove that this child existed. Nobody even knew this child existed, and this child's gone. I mean, talk about just a crazy case altogether. And then, of course, we have the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, which, you know, all these children, with the exception of London, were autistic children. One was, you know, just unfortunate circumstances, but the other 2 have like a suspicious undertone to them. Joshua McCoy and Sebastian Rogers. There's just things that aren't sitting right in either of those cases, and we've known that for a while, especially with Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. But the whole Joshua McCoy thing, you know, we hear his father and his father's pain. Hear a little feet patter. Well, hi. What are you chewing on? How are you doing this morning? You ready to get up? Delilah looks like she might be ready to get up, so I'm probably going to have to get down and get back up. Well, hi. You want to say hi to the coffee club? Or do you just want to look at me chomping your teeth? I think Delilah wants to get up early. Yeah, it's early. That's why I came on this one. I just dropped a video that was heartbreaking on my regular channel, you know, because we're dealing with, it's just sad. You know, it was Sunday. A father took his children to, you know, an area, playground area type of thing, a park. He had, you know, 3 young children. I didn't hear anything about mom, so I would assume that he was just giving mom a break, taking the kids off her hands, going to a park to play. And then one of the children get away from dad. He was dealing with 3 children under the age of 5, so I'm sure he had his hands full. But I don't think anybody would have expected you know, one of his children to wander off toward a pond, lake, or, you know, a body of water, because it said he was recovered by a dive team. So that tells me he was in the water, and it's just so unfortunate. And there she goes. Okay, guys, give me a second. We gotta get Crime Fighter up here. All right, come on, let's go. Let's get you up here. Arg, arg. Are you ready to go say hi to the coffee club? They're ready to see you. you stop? What are you doing? Okay, I don't have time for you to play games, okay? You're gonna have to stay out. Good gracious. Okay, well, she didn't want to get up. She wanted to play. And like I was telling her, I have a whole bunch of people on here that they don't feel like playing with Delilah this morning. She starts jumping at my feet, and I can always tell she just wants to play. And then I go in there. Usually, she'll sit down, and I'll pick her right up because she wants to get on the bed. And this time, she's hopping around like a bunny and and running in a circle. She's like, nope. Nope, you're gonna catch me. If you're gonna get up here, you're gonna have to catch me. I'm like, yeah, I'm not in for games right now. I don't know about her, but I'm not into games. Obviously, she wants to play. She wants to play. Oh, good gracious. Whew. So Wayland Childs. Whew. I was gonna decide because Ormond Beach is so far away, and I've got to leave to head up to Tennessee to find out my fate with, the courts and stuff like that. I don't trust them. I don't trust that they're going to follow the law, but hey, you know what? I might be pleasantly surprised. But I'm not holding my breath. I'm fully prepared to walk this walk, and I'm not standing down. I've done nothing wrong. I followed the law to a T. I didn't even get a freaking speeding ticket, and I'm facing potential incarceration because of my mouth. This is America. So I'm pushing this thing. If they want to keep violating my rights, they can do whatever they want to do at this point. But at some point, they're going to have to answer for their own behavior, actions, and failure to follow the law that they're required to follow as well. I'm just a little, I would say I'm a little nervous, but I'm not, because the fate has already been made up. The judge's mind's already made up. We know that from the first time there. So whatever it is today, or on the 20th, it is going to be. It's already decided before I even get there. We all know that. We did round one. So I'm not going to be too shocked with whatever decision that is made. I do think what should happen is, because everything's in appeals, they're not going to really be able to move forward with this, and it's going to be shelved until the appellate process is followed through with. That would be what I would assume is the process, but I really don't know, because again, I don't know what law they follow, because they don't follow Tennessee law in Sumner County. So once we get some idea of what phantom laws they follow there in Sumner County, maybe then I can gauge what my situation will be. Good morning, Pete. It's nice to see you. Lisa B. Always, Sheena, Big Mac, Mike's up in the house. You're up awfully early, my love. Look at that. Rennie Ren. It's nice to see you, my love. I love that selfie stick. Do you know that it does two ways? Like, I've got my what is it called? The little camera. God, why can't GoPro? I got my GoPro on one, and it holds the phone on the other. I don't know where you found that. I've never seen that arm before on a tripod. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. So I've got to show. It's cool. It's cool. So I'm kind of excited about it, because it's a handheld that holds two cameras. I've never had one before, and I'm interested in seeing how it all works out. And it was kind of funny, because I'm like, it looks like it could hold my, because I checked it. It holds my phones, and I'm like, it looks like it could hold, like, because the hands close a lot closer than most of the ones I have. And I'm like, it looks like it can hold my GoPro. So I stuck my GoPro in there and started making sure it didn't fall out. It doesn't. It holds my GoPro too. So I can literally have a phone while I'm filming on the GoPro. It's really cool. It's really cool. I'm really excited to get to use that. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I haven't used the dividers yet, but they're going to be in use here shortly. So thank you. Oh, you did absolutely nothing wrong. You were defending someone who was at the helm when a child vanished. Their priorities are skewed. I believe it. And it was a shot in the dark. Didn't know if it would work out for you or not. It's awesome, because I like all of my tripods hold one phone. I don't know if you intended for it to hold two phones or not, but there's a bracket that came with it, and you literally screw it on. So I have one phone on one side and the phone and the other phone on the other side. So it's the first handheld tripod that I've ever had that will literally hold two phones. And I'm just like, if you know anything about my business, phone, being able to record and go live at the same time is like, you should see my setup. I got to see CJ's setup. I like CJ's setup. I didn't have my tripod out there, or, I have this little clip that clips in there, and I can have 3 cell phones going at one time on the big tripod, but not a handheld, like not something that, I can walk around with. I mean, my tripod sits taller than I do. So it's like, I got extra back. I was hoping it did. Are you ready to get up now, or are you gonna make me run around in a little circle to play with you? You want up, or are you wanting to play? You want to say hi to the coffee club? What's the deal? I'll get down and get you. But I don't feel like going and playing with you. I got a live stream going on right now. And you go and hide. Okay, come on. Let's do this one more time. If you make me play, I'm shutting the door. Come on. Come here. Come here. Everybody wants to see. I don't want to play. I got a live stream going. Oh, there you go. Oh, what a good girl. What a good girl. Aww. So you really did want to come up here. I thought you were about to make me go play with you again. Say hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. You're not in the camera. You're a little below the camera. There you go. Hi. Hi, sweetheart. She's such a blessing. What you doing? What you doing? Hi. She has this thing where she likes to claw my face. All right. Okay, she's got her toy, and she's bringing it to Mommy to throw to her. She does want to play. She just, instead of going down and making Mom chase her around there, she's bringing over her toy to me. She wants to play. She's in a playful mood this morning. She's in a playful mood this morning. She doesn't care if Mommy's live. She's like, what? Work? What's work? I don't know work. I don't know work. I don't know anything about work. What's this work stuff? I'm ready to go find bad guys. I'm going to take a bite out of crime. She is, Elizabeth, she is so much bigger. I look at, because she grows with me, so I don't notice how big she's getting, but you know what makes me notice it? Oh, I don't have it. Is the coffee cup. The coffee cup that Sonia has. The coffee cup that Sonia has her little baby picture from when we first brought her home. And she's so tiny. She just had her little baby teeth, and her whole body was like the size of her head right now. Now she's trying to hide her little bone. She hides her little bones in the bed. She takes the little flaps, like the wrinkles in the bed, and she sticks it in the wrinkles and jumps on it and thinks she's hiding it. So every time I make the bed, I got these things popping out like popcorn. Popping out like popcorn. But anyways, all work, no play. I know. She's just a blessing. She really is. I don't know how I got so lucky with this puppy. I don't know what I was expecting, because I haven't had puppies since I was in my 20s. And I got to tell you, and the reason why I had puppies is because my dog had puppies. So it wasn't just a puppy, it was puppies, plural, like 10 to 11 of them, both litters. One litter was 10, one litter was 11 puppies. And I was going insane. I mean, I thought I was ready for a padded room with that many puppies. And of course I have, a swimming pool in my living room trying to keep all the puppies together. And I remember one night the water was coming in, and it was raining real bad. And the puppies had gotten, I think the mom, I can't remember, had gotten out, dug under the fence and gotten out because the puppies were in the process of teething and weaning, so it was a little more uncomfortable for mommy. And so she left her puppies. Well, the water started getting in. The puppies got stuck, and Miss Laura's running around to my house saying, we need to get these puppies in. The puppies are drowning. And I'm like, what? And sure enough, they were trying to go to their mommy, and they got stuck where she dug at, and they couldn't get under the fence, and they were like kind of up to their neck in mud. So we ended up, getting the dogs out of that. Had to go out in the rain and find mommy, but I was ready for a padded room. It was a lot to handle. So I remembered that experience. And when we had our other puppies, they weren't really mine. They were Vince's, and Vince took care of everything. Like, he literally took them out. He cleaned up after them. He fed them. He watered them. He loved them. I loved them too. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I was like, oh my God, you're Vince's dog. I loved Layla. I loved America. I loved Chance. They were just his dogs. And so this is the first puppy I've had that I've had to actually, feed, bathe, clip nails, take out to potty, everything like that. And, I was worried about, like, oh my gosh, she's going to chew my shoes, my shoelaces, my flip-flops, the cords. I got cords strung all over this house because you never know where I'm going to set up at. Am I going to set up in the kitchen? Am I going to set up in the living room? Am I going to go to the office? Am I going to be here? So I've literally got computer cords, phone cords in every single place that I set up at. So I've got all these cords everywhere. And so I was worried about having to worry about my cords and putting them up. She doesn't chew cords. She doesn't chew cords. She chews pens, ink pens. So I got to make sure those are out of place. She loves getting a hold of tissue and tearing it. Like, I clean up under the bed quite frequently. Okay. I don't know what it is about me, but I clean up under the bed. I don't have anything under my bed except one little plastic bag that holds like the like two little shams for the Juicy Couture bedding that I didn't use because I like these and I like my green ones, my teals, my silk teals ones. So that's what I put on the bed. And so the other ones, I just don't want too many pillows, so I just put them in the bag where the bedding came from, and I stuck them under my bed. That's literally the only thing under my bed. Well, let me tell you right now, I've got like 15 shirts under there. God knows how many pairs of dirty underwear. We're not going to get into that. I was wondering where they went. Well, I did find them this morning along with some socks. And of course, about 15 of these shredded to no end. So before I get on the road to Tennessee, I will be cleaning under the bed yet again. I don't know what I'm going to do about my clothing issue here. I got to check it to make sure it doesn't have holes in it. But other than that, I think she just pulls them under there, lays on them, sniffs them. Who knows what the dog does, okay? I'm not going to attempt to try to figure out what is in my dog's brain. But that's as bad as it gets. So far, I've had 0 items in my house ruined. Just saying. It's the difference between babysitting and being a first-time mommy, in my opinion. I know, I do feel like a first-time mom. She okay? I hear her cough and I'm like, tapping her on her back. Are you okay? I'm like, what is wrong with me? She is spoiled, though. She is spoiled. And of course, my best friend laughs at me to my face about how overprotective I am of her. And I am. I'm very overprotective of her because she was like attacked as a puppy by the dogs across the street. By the way, the dogs have no other issues, no other instances where those mean dogs have gotten out or have, terrorized our street. So that's good. And she doesn't really run off. She stays in the yard. The only place that she runs off to is when she sees Emily next door. If I'm working in the yard, I'll pop my head up and she'll be gone, and I'll look over and she's playing with Emily in the next yard. So she's just a good girl. She's just a good girl. Anyways, getting back to Joshua McCoy, that is going to be a case that I am monitoring. I'm looking every single day. Nobody's providing updates. That's what I don't like about mainstream media. So if anybody's out there in that area and you have your pulse to the ground, send me an email, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Let me know what's going on, because I've heard a lot of rumors, like the mother has been interrogated. The mother, has admitted some things, and I'm not seeing those things in the news. And it's not uncommon because mainstream media does not report the news anymore. They report what law enforcement wants them to report instead of actually leaning on the freedoms of press that we all have. But I digress. This is why people come to social media to get their news. So, anyways, if you guys are out there in the area, you guys know what is going on with the Joshua McCoy case, please, 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 please let me know. This is a case in Oregon, and or is this one Oklahoma? I can't even remember. My cases are starting to run together. No, London's in Oklahoma. So McCoy is in Oregon. So Oregon is the state. If anybody has any information about what's going on with that case, please reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. In the subject line, write Joshua McCoy or Joshua McCoy update. So I can easily find that information when you guys do send it. But we're going to start exercising this channel a little bit more. I know we got away from it, but things kind of got chaotic. We had the whole, law enforcement thing for me, the BS, arrest, all this other crap that's going on. We have my lawsuit in Illinois, and we also now have the federal lawsuit. So things have just kind of got by the wayside, but this channel is still here. We're still going to be adding stuff to it. There was a few things that I needed to add over here that I ended up adding onto the main channel. I really want the main channel just to be for breaking news, as well as our deep dives into our one case or two case, whatever. I really can only handle one case deep diving into, because it's just me and the team, and of course all of you, but it's a lot of stuff that needs to be processed, and I'd have to process it myself. So trying to pick up 2 or 3 different cases and trying to run with the ball, it just drowns me. It's too hard for me to keep all of the details of all of the cases together when I'm balancing more than one case. I don't mind breaking news and stuff like that. But when we're deep diving in, that's what we need to do. Some dogs can be more expensive than kids. This dog has to have baby teeth removed. Okay. So I'm already dealing with some expenses I wouldn't already have with other dogs. Her teeth are starting to get a little crooked in there. They're starting to get overcrowded, and her teeth aren't falling out. Her baby teeth aren't falling out. One of the fangs did finally fall out. I can tell that the other bottom fang is starting to loosen up, much different than what it's been. I can tell it's moving a little bit, so that one might be coming out all on its own. I'm praying to God it does. Because the less teeth she has to have removed, the less, least cost of the bill. But she's going to end up having to have teeth removed because it can cause a whole host of, that was going through it, a whole host of problems in the dogs. A lot of dental problems, nerve problems, tooth root problems. So they have to come out. They can't stay in there forever. Little Joshua was found in harsh terrain. Yeah, that's another thing. It's just, there's just something with that story. As soon as I read that story and the way it was written about how they went to potential family members, but that he might have been with potential family members, but those, I can't remember how they stated it, but something were false. And they said false, like as if it was intentionally lied, when they use false, but if it was something like, well, maybe my mom came, like, you guys have seen my mom come in this house, freaks me out a little bit, but you know what, just for shits and giggles, what happened, what if she said something like, maybe my mom came and picked up, Joshua, and then they reach out to mom and mom says, no, unfortunately I didn't. They wouldn't use the word false. They would have used something on the lines of, in their wording, it was alleged that there was a possibility of maybe a family member stopping by, seeing her sleeping, and taking the child off of her hands. But we went to the family and we realized nobody has seen this child. It wouldn't have been a false statement. And they made sure that they added the word false in that report. And I know, like I said, I know how law enforcement speaks. I know how they work very hard with their language to make sure that they're spot on without, but they said false. And that word was ringing out to me and literally shot off the page. That meant to me that law enforcement was deceived somehow when they stated the word false. So that was the first indicator that something wasn't sitting right in the McCoy case. And then, of course, when they talked about the diagonal straight line from their house, we learned through the Sebastian Rogers case that autistic children are typically found within 2 miles of their home, and they use they stay in a straight line typically. Many people don't know that, but it's something that we did find out, doing some research, that they typically stay in a straight line. And they stated that he had his mom's phone. The mom's phone pinged, but it was unuseful, didn't provide any fruitful results according to them, which was a little odd. But it was the diagonal that was leading me to have hope. But then something was weird about the finding of the child. Just like we hear on Waylon's case, he was recovered by dive teams. Okay, we knew where he was. And this is what I stated whenever we read this article. I'm like, look, they're not stating, get away from my tissue. No, you're not tearing the tissue up. They stated that he was recovered, but they didn't state how. And that's a problem for me, because we have a lot of children that do run away from home. And as unfortunate as it is, some of those children lose their life by being introduced to bodies of water and other things. We hear about this. This is not our first time hearing about a child that, a young child that got out of their parents' custody and got lost, and that ended up losing their life. Okay, so we're dealing, and we have a good example of that, which is Waylon right now. And you hear the statements from Waylon's case as opposed to the statements of Joshua's case, and you see the big differences. There's just something not right and not reading well when it comes to Joshua McCoy as opposed to Waylon Childs. And I think that that's very important, because something is leading me to believe there's a lot more to this Joshua McCoy story. The mom is just, she's had some problems. We had the father and his brother come out, which his brother, the uncle to Joshua, also has his same name. Joshua McCoy is his uncle. And you can just tell that there's an undertone in how they're talking. You can hear the undertone in how law enforcement's talking. You can hear the careful wording of the news articles when it comes to Joshua McCoy. And then, whenever we're looking for Joshua McCoy, there's nothing. It's dead silent. And that's very, very concerning for me as well, because, what's going on with his case, and we don't know. It sounds like it's becoming close to the chest. Now, they did have a vigil for Joshua, which I thought was really beautiful. I don't know who put it on. Let me just read this here. See if we can get something. Oh, we do have something. Hold on, let me get through the commercial.
People braved the rain for a candlelight vigil Saturday night, honoring the life of Joshua McCoy, the 5-year-old boy who was found dead this week in Coos County. The vigil took place near North Bay Elementary School in North Bend, remembering McCoy as a kind and loving boy who made everyone smile. Members of Josh's family flew out for the vigil, which was held on what would have been his 6th birthday. As we previously reported, McCoy went missing last Saturday, and crews spent several days searching for the boy. But on Tuesday, the Coos County Sheriff's Office said they found McCoy's body less than 2 miles from his home. His cause of death is still unknown, and an investigation is ongoing.
So there you guys have it. What I was going to say is that, yesterday there wasn't a whole lot related to him, just recycling the news that he had been found and was not going to be coming home, in the fact that his father spoke out. and that was 4 days ago. And so I checked last night, and there was still nothing. And I guess sometime yesterday evening they did this candlelight vigil and produced that out. So that's really the only update. There hasn't been any fruitful update on the Joshua McCoy case other than he disappeared and the recovery of him and his father speaking out, and of course this vigil. Um, it's just really sad. If you're struggling, things happen in life. Okay, we all know that things just happen, right? You know, life changes happen. You might be dealing or struggling with substance abuse or alcohol abuse. If that's the case, and you've got children, and you know you're not properly taking care of your children, do something about it. Okay, don't let this be the ending of your story, because no matter what you're going through, most people still love their children. And the drugs and the substances make you not yourself. um, they make you more volatile, they make you more angry, they make you less patient, and those are the exact opposite of what you need to have when you're taking care of a young child. Young children don't understand. They don't understand when they're pushing buttons. They don't understand when they're screaming and stuff. All they know is they want what they want. They, you know, and parents, it's at times, you know, parents that aren't dealing with anything, are not dealing with problems in their life, and not dealing with substance abuse or alcohol abuse, sometimes have a hard time managing young children just as is, right? Children are a handful. It takes a village. So if you're struggling and you're looking at your child and you're wondering if you're doing the right by them, you know, maybe look at some other healthier options until you get yourself right. Don't let this be your story. Don't allow whatever you're going through affect your children to death. Okay, and there's a lot of people out there. I'm not going to sit there and pass judgment on who, what, when, where. When it comes to substance abuse or alcohol abuse, it is a disease that is blind, right? It could be anybody that suffers from it, from the richest person in the world down to a Skid Row junkie. I can tell you that there have been so many people through my path that I've walked that were highly educated, a hell of a lot smarter than Bullhorn Betty, and watching them just wither away. It's hard. It's hard. And with our open border system, whether no matter how you agree with it or not, there is drugs funneling across that border. No matter how you look at it, there's stuff being funneled across that border that is affecting our children. Our children aren't doing the normal things like drinking. Like when we were, like the most my parents had to worry about when I was in high school is getting drunk and smoking pot. Like that was it, right? This day and age, they're skipping over all of that and going straight to H and other types of stuff that are going to kill them. I've never seen something so corrosive in my life. This is what's facing our parents today. You know, I mean, we had to worry about alcohol and pot. You know, the parents today have to worry about death. You know, not their child getting in a car wreck. You know, DUI or hurting somebody. That's not what they're worried about. They're worried about their own children surviving their high school. And there's a lot more pressures on children this day and age because children aren't taught to stay in their own lane, aren't taught to worry about themselves. They're taught to worry about everybody else's and everybody else's emotions. That's a lot of baggage for our children and on our children's shoulders, to have to worry about everybody else but themselves. And we wonder why our children this day and age need therapists. Well, maybe if they didn't have to carry the whole entire weight of the world on their shoulders, they might be a little more relaxed. In our day and age, if you didn't like something, you're told to change the channel. You know, this day and age, they're taught if you don't like something, worry about somebody else and pick up their fight and fight for them. You know, take the channel down. Cancel culture. You know, it's a lot of stress. That is a lot of stress. So I don't know. If you're struggling and you have small children and you don't know what to do, you need to have it come to Jesus, because your children need to be more important and worth more. You've got to, honesty is the best policy. Do you have a problem? Do you not have a problem? Is this going to affect your children? If it's going to affect your children, what can you do to prevent the effect of your children? Prevent this affecting your children in a negative way. And put things together. Even if you're a hot mess express, you have lucid thinking, you have logic. Use it. I feel like these young children, these young kids, and I call them kids, but their parents, if they would realize they're not in the ability to take care of their children, maybe they can come to Jesus and say, you know what? Let me just take a break here so I can get myself right to be more powerful down the road. And a day late and a dollar short. It sounds like this girl, Joshua's mom, was overwhelmed, it sounded like. From everything that I can hear behind the scenes, it sounds like she was really, really overwhelmed. So I don't know what happened, but I just feel like something's off when it comes to the Joshua McCoy case. What else? We've still got Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. It looks like I had somebody write into my chat, don't tell everybody what Dog's doing. Listen, I don't talk to Dog personally. I really don't. I find everything out on his X feed, okay? I'm not telling any secrets that Dog has that he's not putting out in the public light. I promise you. I'm not tipping the hat on where Dog is or what he's doing. I'm just monitoring his social media, and his social media is public. So I figured if he wanted the whole world to know it, he'll post it, and he has. So for all the people that are worried about me, telling Dog secrets, I'm promising you I'm not. I haven't talked to the man. I've spoke to him like one time, and that was when I was leaving to go to court the first time in the hurricane, when the hurricane blew my when I came back to my house being just ruined. That was the only time I personally spoke to him, and I've never spoke to him since. So I don't have conversations with him, so I have no secrets. I have no inside knowledge about anything. I can promise you that. All I know is what he posts, right? And he was posting a video of him going into Tennessee. And he was posting a sign saying he was 10 to 13 minutes away from Hendersonville. And I'm like, these are things he's posting to the public. He's letting know, beware a dog. Dog's coming in. I can't be happier. I'm glad he's finally going to be able to get a lay of the land. I think it'll clear up a lot of things for him. It certainly cleared up a lot of things for me. You guys know how I feel. I hope he gets around. I hope he goes to the site, the job site. I hope he does a lot of stuff, and I hope he doesn't have his rights violated by Sumner County and these yahoos that think they control the county, and that they can just wield their law enforcement to do their heavy lifting when somebody doesn't break the law. But hey, I'm telling you, I'm just still a little butthurt about that. But when this all comes out in the wash, I know that I will be successful. I did not break a law. I never even got a speeding ticket. I barely even left my car except to post flyers, which the last time I checked, it's not a crime to post a flyer of a missing child, especially when law enforcement has stated that they hope that the flyers get posted. The mom and the stepdad says, please don't keep my child's name out there, post flyers. Everybody in the community is saying, oh, you can post flyers, but good God, I post flyers, it's stalking. Funny how that happens. So I'm a little butthurt still about that, and I will always be a little butthurt until this stuff comes to an end and we can get back to our job at hand, which is finding a 15-year-old boy that apparently Sumner County has completely forgotten about. We'll see how this all works out. I'm going there on the 20th. Don't really care what happens. I don't really care. I know when I walk into there, the decision for me is already made up, so it's out of my control. So I'm not going to let it eat me up. The bottom line is the whole world is watching. They're watching this county violate somebody's constitutional rights every chance that they can. They're watching them treat outsiders differently than they treat their taxpayers, which there's constitutional grounds for them doing that alone. So the only people that are violating the law, in my opinion, are the people running the county of Sumner County. And hopefully that changes, because we're putting a spotlight on this, and you can't change the fact of what everybody's saying. You can't even talk to the sheriff without him saying, are you a taxpayer here? Do you live here? Do I owe you you take $1 federal dollar, you owe the whole damn world an explanation. Or stay the hell out of the federal funds. Just saying. Just saying. If you want to be about your taxpayer, then your taxpayers need to pay for every damn thing and stay out of the pocketbook of the rest of the country. That's how it works. When I go there and I rent a room, I'm a taxpayer. Get it straight, not twisted. So you want to know who your taxpayer is? Bullhorn Betty is a taxpayer of Sumner County. So don't get it twisted. Just saying. Not playing. And, of course, our bugaboo is curled up. Just stop it. Stop it. We're kind of having an easy breezy morning, because she once I start packing my bag, she's going to start crying like a little baby, because she knows it's time for mommy to leave. And she hates mommy leaving her anywhere. She does not do well without mommy. Me and her are BFFs. We sleep together, we work together, we ride together. That's bad boys for life. Bad girls for life. And every time we're in the car, she's got to be on my lap. I get so worried. I'm like, oh my God, what happens if I get in a wreck and the airbag explodes? I get so worried about her, but she's still a puppy, and that's where she wants to be. And trust me, I've been trying to keep her in her bed. She won't sit in her, she wants to be next to mommy. So I've been, putting her to the side of me instead of her being across. I've been trying to train her. Oh, if you're going to sit with me, you got to stay on this side, because I figured if the airbag explodes, if God forbid, I think about things like that, right? She's my baby. I got to be careful with her. But she's too young that she won't stay put. I think over time she's going to get sick of being, with me moving around. She's going to get sick of being in my lap, so she'll naturally go to her own bed. She's doing a little bit more and more by herself. She's starting to learn to play a little bit more by herself, but she still loves mommy playing with her. And she goes crazy. I don't know what got into her yesterday. If you guys saw my little my short video on her, it was so cute. She just thought it was the funniest thing, playing with that blanket and my feet in the blanket. She didn't want to play with my feet out of the blanket, which she always does. She wanted to play them with under the blanket. It was really, really, really cute. Well, Melanie, the way the law is supposed to work is that it's appealed. It's supposed to stop everything. The judge should have preemptively stopped it whenever he saw that the appeal went through, but that's not the kind of county we're dealing with. We're dealing with a county that wants to make sure that they give me the screws because they don't like me. Then they don't like my commentary and the fact that I have disdain for their law enforcement sitting on their ass. It's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. I live in America. And I'm sorry that this backwoods community doesn't like freedoms of the press and doesn't like freedoms of speech. But at the end of the day, it's what's given to all of us constitutionally, and they can't infringe upon it, which they're trying to by unscrupulous measures and means. So, something's got to get done. Something's got to get done. Never mind the fact that they arrested me when I committed no freaking crimes, and they knew that. They tried to intimidate me with their law and law enforcement. It's disgusting. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of themselves. But they're going to keep pushing it because if they don't, somebody will lose their job. Why would somebody lose their job for doing the right thing? Maybe corruption? Just a thought. Just a thought. Well, we'll be back on the main channel here in a little bit to have further discussions with or about the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. We want to keep Sebastian's name front of mind. We want to make sure that he stays in the algorithm and is pushed out. Our work has not, it's been very, very good. Look at all the national stuff we were able to accomplish by keeping his name out there and constantly talking about him on the daily. It's starting to hit, the right numbers that the national media is picking up on it and doing a little more with it. We've seen several cases being run on Court TV. God bless Court TV. Several other news organizations have been keeping this front and center as well. And that is just the dedication of the true crime community keeping this case alive. Because if it was left to that environment, if it was left to their community, if it was left to their local mainstream media, this case would be dead. Period. This case would be dead. That's the difference between social media and mainstream media. We know how to keep these cases alive. We know how to keep them long term, and we know how to keep them in the algorithm so that they're top of mind for people that are coming into the true crime genre. Sebastian's life matters, and he deserves to be home with his dad. And we are doing everything we can in our human power to do to keep his name alive and make sure that people know who Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is, because this case is very, very, very suspicious. Very suspicious. And I understand why law enforcement is trying to put a kibosh on it for their investigative purposes, but that doesn't give them the right to block the entire world out of a public interest case, but that's what they do. I have no respect for Sumner County at all. None. I have no respect for the law enforcement in Sumner County. I have a respect for the worker bees, but I have no respect for Top Brass and the BS that they come with. I have no respect for unscrupulous detectives that don't mind lying under oath. That's a problem for me. How many other times did she lie under oath to get somebody thrown in jail? This was not her first time, I can guarantee that. She was too easy to move to do this. So that tells me she's done this before. So I've got a lot of problems. I've got a lot of questions, and we're just going to put on our boxing gloves and fight, fight, fight. You know, we're going to trump this out. What they're doing is wrong. How they're acting is wrong. Them thinking that people don't have rights, that people can't say, you can't arrest me when you have nothing to arrest me for, and then they get arrested for nothing. That's pretty telling for a community, in my opinion. But it's not about me. We will be getting back to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We are going to be writing this case. We are going to be making sure that the story is told. That law enforcement nor the family can stop the story from being told. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers matters, and we need to bring him home. All right, guys. Me and the crime fighter are going to be getting on to the main channel here in probably another hour. Maybe hour and a half to kind of dive into the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. So I hope to see you guys over there. Don't forget to rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless you. And don't forget to sub up on this channel. It's still here, and we're going to still be putting stuff out on here.